Hello everyone and welcome to the video. In this video, I'm going to show you what you should do before you attempt to become a day trader, with your own money or with a prop firm. A quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice and entertainment purposes only. There is a very high chance you will lose a lot of money. Remember, I'm just a random guy you found on the internet, so don't believe what I say. Okay, for those who don't know what a prop firm is, a quick explanation of it is you pay them money to get a test account. If you pass the account, you typically pay another fee to activate it and it becomes a funded account. You can also call it like a pro account, a PA account. It comes with many names, but basically it's an account that if you follow the props rules, you can withdraw money from. I'll make a more detailed video in the future, or feel free to look it up yourself. If you want to try it out, in the description box below, I have some links from prop firms I use. I have the codes with the best discounts from them. Anyways, back to the main topic of what you should do and I wished I did when I started. Simply, it's downloading TradingView. I have a link in the description or just Google it. The reason why you should download it is it's completely free, with some limits such as 2 indicators only and a 15-minute delay. But for what we want, that's not needed. But once you click the link, on the top right has a sign up for $0 forever. That's what we want. In the future and you end up wanting to buy this, I would recommend doing it during a holiday. For me, I buy the year package on like Black Friday or Thanksgiving. I can't remember the day, but typically they'll do it every year for a fairly big discount. I think I did it for like 80% off or 70%. After you click the sign up button, you'll have an option to sign in with Google or any of the other logins. I've only used Google, so that's what I'll do. You can't see it, but a pop-up appears asking which Google account I want to sign in with. Simply just choose the email you want. After, you can change your username to something you'd like or just leave it. Maybe check the box for special offers if you ever do want to buy this in the future. But now that you made your account, you can use the website to search stuff up. But I would recommend downloading the platform for the desktop. Just hover the mouse over the More option, then Downloads, and then click the desktop app. There is an option if you'd like to use it on your phone as well. Once you've opened it, just click the person on the top right or the 3 lines on the top left and click Sign In. It will say Sign In with Browser, so that's what we'll click. Then on whatever search engine you use, a new tab will appear asking to grant access. When you click it, you will see your TradingView account is now logged in to your desktop app. From here, you should see on the top left that you're signed in. Now you can click here on the search icon or the symbol, and then a search box appears. Feel free to search up any stock or futures or Forex, whatever you want, but in our case, we'll be looking up futures, and we'll just search up NQ or NASDAQ, or any other futures contract because the world's your oyster. But once you're done, over here, you can click the different time frames. And basically what it is how much time has to pass for a new candle to form. You can click the stars to add them to your favorites to access them faster. And to get around the 2 indicator limit, click on the indicators and look up DIY. And choose the custom strategy builder. You can look up a separate video on what all these indicators are and what they do if you're interested in it. To change the time zone, just click the time and choose what area you're in. And if you don't like military time, right-click the chart, go to Settings, under Scales and Lines, scroll all the way to the bottom. Change the time-hour format from 24 hours to 12, and if you like military time, just do the opposite. Now, for the paper trading, this is how you'll be able to practice. On the bottom here, click the trading panel. Grab this line, drag it up to see more options, and then click the paper trading. It should populate an account saying you have 100,000. Now just press the trade button. Before we start, go to Settings, under the Trading tab, and turn on Instant Order Placements. That's quite important. Okay, now you're ready to trade. You will have a 15-minute delay, but in the future, if you do want live data, it will be $7 a month. But as long as you don't try to cheat by looking at the current prices, you'll be fine. Now, what you'll do as a practice is simple. You're going to trade this practice account like a prop account, though not with all the rules in play. we'll be using the arguably easiest account to pass, the 50K account. Now with this example of Apex, our account goal is to make 3,000, but we would have a trailing drawdown of 2,500. Now there isn't really a way of simulating that in TradingView, but what we'll just do simply is our goal is to make 3,000 and not lose 2,500. Now, if you don't know what a trailing drawdown is, it's a potential way prop firms use for people to lose their accounts so they can make more money. How a trailing drawdown works is, for example, say in your account you start 50K and your max trailing drawdown is 47,500. This is the lowest allowed balance, or if you go below it, you bust. Let's say you took a trade today and the account balance went to 52,000. Your trailing drawdown moves up to 49,500. It will always trail by 2,500 behind the highest balance. Now, if your balance falls below 49,500, you're going to lose the account. Now, say you took a small loss and the balance drops to 51,000. Your drawdown stays at 49,500. It never moves because you didn't make any potential profit. Now, let's say you took another trade and your balance goes to 55,000. Your trailing drawdown moves up to 52,500, trailed by 2,500. Now, if your account falls below the 52,500, you fail. Now, this is going to be a scenario that's going to happen to a lot of you guys if you're going to YOLO accounts like I did. Say you buy an account, you do 10 contracts, and you YOLO it, and you got up to, like, say, 2,900, but you're dumb enough not to close like me. Well, the price is just going to move down to $400 profit, but your account's busted. Trust me, it happened to me, it'll happen to you one day. But some key points to remember: your drawdown only moves up, never down. If your balance falls below the drawdown level, you're busted. And the 2,500 drawdown always trails behind the highest account balance, not the highest account balance that you closed at. End of day drawdown is easier because it doesn't get factored in until the next day. So say we're using a take profit account, the 50K, and your end of day drawdown is 48,000, a 2K limit. In the morning, your account goes to 55,000, but then you took another trade and lost 4,000, so your account's sitting at 51,000. In the trailing drawdown account, this would have been busted. The nice thing about end of day is, say you quit here, you end the account at 51,000. When the markets open up again, your new end of day drawdown is going to be 49,000. Because all it sees is you made $1,000. Hopefully that was enough explanation to understand the difference between trailing drawdown and end of day drawdown. Now then, back to what I was saying earlier. You'll be using the paper account to simulate the prop tests with it so you don't have to spend money, which will save you thousands. Like, I'm speaking from experience, I spent over 8,000 on accounts to pass and get one payout. So find a prop firm you like and we're just going to copy the rules. So for Apex, we are allowed to use 10 contracts or 100 micros for the 50K account. But I would suggest either using one contract or 10 or less micros. Find a strategy that works for you and you'll stick to it to a T, because in the long run, you'll be profitable from the strategy. For example, say you got a strategy that has a 50% win rate. Your risk to reward ratio can't be 1-to-1. Because say you do 1,000 trades, right? Statistically, you're going to be break even because you're not making any money. Now, if it's still the same strategy and still 50-50, and your risk to reward is 1-to-1.5 over the course of 100 trades, you would lose 5,000 and you would make 7,500. So your profit would be 2,500 over the course of 100 trades. Now remember, things are often different though. Like just flipping like a quarter, right? You can get tails 20 times in a row before you get one heads. It's still 50-50 chance, but it's over the course of a very long period. Yes, you can gamble with the accounts, do 10 contracts, aim for 61 ticks, and pass it in seconds. But you can also bust it just as fast. But what you'll want to do is keep record of this, because it'll be important. Have a tally counter, like saying how many times you've passed a count, how many times you failed the account. Do this for a week, a month, however long you need, because all it's costing you right now is time. When you start out, your ratio might be awful. You might lose 10 accounts and pass one account. But after some time, you find a better strategy, you lower it to, say, 3 losses to a win. Let's just say you went straight to your money account or you went to a prop firm right away, right? Just like me. Say it takes you 10 tries to pass an account. On average, an account costs like 50 bucks, sometimes better on deals. But for our case, say you've already spent 500 bucks and you pass the one account. Well, now you pay the activation fee of 100 bucks. So now you're already in $600. Going by the track record, you have 10% chance of keeping the account and reaching the payout level, which in Apex's case, you got to trade for 8 days in a row. So I don't know how the numbers really work with that logic, but you would have to go through that cycle 10 times technically to get one payout, or 600 times 10, so $6,000, or whatever the withdrawal limits are. For Apex, it's between 500 and 2,000 for the 50K. And the chances you would keep your account the next 8 days and requesting another payout is even more lower. There's a reason why they have 8 days to request a payout, because it's just a numbers game. The longer you have to trade, the higher odds it is you're going to mess up one of those days. And they're counting on it because the people that they hired proved it to them that that's what it is. That's how these companies stay in business. The longer you have to trade, the higher odds it is you're going to mess up and lose one day. And if you're not disciplined, you'll get annoyed. You're not going to take a small loss. You're going to start going heavier in size. You're not taking your setups anymore. You're not following your strategy. Now you're just gambling to make back your loss. And eventually you're just going to blow up. Yes, there'll be times you're going to be lucky, but statistically, you won't. But anyways, I digress. The moral of this video is practice and become more disciplined. Get your win-loss ratio to a better number before I suggest you use prop firms. Yes, you can try the day trade with your own capital because it would technically be easier because you don't have to deal with all the rules. But if you can't be successful with a prop firm, I'm sorry to say your chances are you're going to lose a lot more. And when you're using a prop firm, remember, it's okay to not make 2,000 every day on 20 accounts like you see on YouTubers or streamers. Just think of your job. On average, people make 200 a day. So don't FOMO into a trade. Remember, you have 23 hours because that's how long the futures market's opened to get your setup. And you only need one to get a good amount out of it. The big money is great, but it's not realistic unless you have a strategy and you have the funds to properly do it. So don't get tempted by the other streamers, traders that make thousands a day. They've been doing this for years. They've already gone through all of their losses and learned their lesson and found a strategy that makes them profitable. Or maybe they're also just learning still. I know I'm still learning from my mistakes. I still lose accounts. I get annoyed and I just gamble accounts too. It happens. So if you're starting out or you've been doing this for a while and you're still not doing great, it's okay. Start all over. Practice for some time. The market's not going anywhere. Learn from my mistakes. Try to forget all of the things you learned, your candlestick patterns, support, resistance, all of it, and start over. Because if you choose a strategy and instead of taking the trade, you're in your head saying, well, this looks like a shooting star candle followed by what looks like a head and shoulders, so we must be going down. I'll take a short, or I'll just sit this trade out. And because in your head you did that, you probably missed the trade. Maybe it would have played out, maybe it wouldn't have. But it's just numbers, statistics. The reason strategies works is because of statistics. You play it enough times and you will win in the long run. You just need to manage your risk. So if you're using 5 contracts on your strategy, yeah, you may win a couple times in the beginning because you got lucky, but in prop firms, you don't have enough money to sustain the risk. For example, if your stop is 40 ticks, that's $200 per contract. Or it's $1,000 with 5 contracts. Using the 50K for example, you have $2,500 of drawdown, so you can theoretically lose 2.5 times or you're going to bust and lose it all. But say you're going to be smarter, you're going to manage your risk better. Say you use only 1 contract, well, that's only $200 risk. And now you can technically lose 12.5 times in a row before your accounts is busted. You have a higher chance that with your strategy, you'd become more profitable because you're giving more chances for each trade to play out. And if you want, you can take it further and do 5 micros instead of 1 contract. Now you're technically risking $100 a trade for the same 40 ticks. And now you can lose 25 times in a row before you lose the account. Or you could take it even further, where you're risking only one micro, which is $20 a trade. So you can lose 125 times in a row. The point I'm trying to make is use the right amount of contracts for your strategy as well as the current volatility. And by that, what I mean is like in the current market, the volatility is very high. Like every 1 minute candle is 100 ticks up and down essentially. So if you wanted to just put the stop at the high of the candle, you're now risking over 500 bucks on one trade using one contract, which means if you just did 5 contracts with the same thing, you only have one chance to pass or fail because you're risking 500 bucks a contract or 2,500. Again, the point I'm trying to make is it's okay to not use every single contract that they give. They have that there, so you would, and you're going to lose, and then you're going to bust, and then you're going to have to buy another account. That's the point. And so you're with your PA or your funded account. It's okay if you don't get a payout in 8 days or in any other prop from however many days it is. Use one micro if you need to. Like right now, for instance, today I made 900 bucks using one micro. Take a month, take 2 months if that's what you need to get your payout. Because remember, there's a lot of prop firms out there that you can copy trade with if you get good enough. For example, on Apex, you can have 20 accounts. They did change the rules of you need to get to 4,100 if you want to request a 2K payout on the 50K, but still, let me put this into perspective so you guys can understand. Say it takes you 1 whole year to copy trade one account using micros, like one micro contract, to get it to 4,100. You'll be able to request 2,000 on every single account. That's 40 Gs. Say you did a little bit better. Say you can do it in 6 months. Well, now you're technically making 80K a year. Let's say you can do it in 3 months. Now you're making 160,000 a year. You're making a doctor's salary in the comfort of your own home. Now imagine you get to the point where you can do it once a month. Now you're making 480,000 a year. Now imagine you had the other accounts, like you have 11 Buell Knox accounts, you have 5 Take Profit accounts, you have Elite Trader funded accounts, all of them. Like, does that put it into perspective? You don't need to make money fast. So don't get greedy. Don't have FOMO. Be numb to the charts. The candles move up and down fast. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't matter. Your favorite YouTuber or streamer just went all in, saying, we're going long, we're going short. Ignore it. It doesn't matter. It's not your strategy. It's not your setup. Remember, they're not you. They won't be giving you their life-changing money that they made to you. It's theirs. Trading is not you versus me or you versus your favorite streamer or friend. It's you versus you. It's okay to be slow and take your time and do it right. Build a good foundation and the habits now so you'll do better in the future. Think how many times near the end of the year you tell yourself like, man, if I just worked out every day since the start of the year till now, I could have lost that 40 pounds, 50 pounds. I could have gotten that 6-pack. Like whatever you tell yourself. Just think like a year ago, if you just stuck with your one strategy a year ago, nothing else bothered you, how much money you could have made. Not sure why this video turned motivational, but the point still stands. Once again, not financial advice. Another tip would be, once you get to the point where you're using props, before you buy an account, do some push-ups. For every $1 or $2, because it's easy to spend money. Trust me, I know. Like there's no weight behind it, there's no consequence until it's too late. For example, when an Apex has 90% sale and a 50K account costs 16 bucks, you better believe I'm buying all 20 accounts just to see if I can pass them all. They cost like 320 bucks, and instead of doing the smart thing and passing them a couple at a time, I just copy trade them all and I just gamble them essentially. I either pass or I fail and then I do it again. But now before I do something that's stupid, like I gotta go do 160 push-ups or 320 push-ups. Now it may not be smart, but it gives me enough time to get the anger out or the frustration of losing the 20 accounts, and it gives time to cool off. Because it takes a while to do all those push-ups and it'll just level me out. And I'm just going to be doing this over the year. Just, you buy one account, do 16 push-ups, do 30 push-ups, whatever it costs. Either I'll be broke and buff, or I'll be buff and rich. But either way, I'll be attractive to some sugar mama that would love me either way. One day at least. Sadly, not today. But here you go, guys. Proof that you can pass with just one contract. It is more volatile day because it's tariff day. So it was easier to happen, but at the same time, if my risk was higher, I might have busted. But the logic behind my trade was this dotted line was yesterday's close, and I figured before Trump announces the news that we would be pushing up higher, and obviously you can see it is happening. The smart play would have been to have a stop loss and secure at least the 1500 and not hold it until it retested the line, but either way it played out. But again, the last thing again is to just use one contract to pass accounts. Yes, you can get to the point where you can gamble them away. That's still fine. I'm just saying, build your habits because that's not the thing that you're going to be doing in your pro account. Because in most pro firms, they have a rule called the consistency rule or the YOLO prevention rule, if you'd want to call it that, where on your funded account, right, you can't just YOLO the 5, 10 cons, make 9,000 in a day, and then just trade and make 50 bucks for the rest of the day and request a payout. Like, that doesn't work like that. If you made 9,000 in one day, well, you're going to have to now make 21,000 more dollars either within the span of 8 days or however long you want until you get to that $20,000 additional made. So if you did want to make that payout in 7 days, you'd have to make $3,000 on average every single day. Or you could take longer, do 1,000 every single day for 21 days, et cetera, whatever it is. Back then, before when payouts were, 2,600, the magic number was make less than 780 bucks a day, and you'd never have to worry about the consistency rule, which I think it still applies. But if you did want to do the 2K every single day, I think the new consistency would be something like 1,230, I think. But anyways, I digress again. I hope you learned something from this video, or don't. Either way, be smart, guys. Not financial advice. You can lose a lot of money doing this if you're not smart about it. This is all for entertainment purposes only. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, don't go gambling because that's what this kind of is, but with slightly better odds because if you have a good strategy and you stick with it. Risk only what you could afford to lose. And also, this video became much longer than I intended. I meant to have this like a 7-minute video, but with my rants and trying to explain it, this turned to, 24 minutes? Gee. If you got to this point, I appreciate it. But again, this video was for teaching people and trying to help people, but it's also for myself, telling myself to be patient, be disciplined, and, follow this strategy because in the long run, it'll play out. It's just statistics, just numbers. Like it's the saying, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. But again, if you got to this point, thank you again. I know I'm small in size now, but that can change with your help. So hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoy, click the like button. Go to the comments below. Share your favorite strategy or share the strategy that you're doing. I want to hear it out. Write down your current win-loss ratio. Maybe right now it's not so good, but a year from now you come back and edit it and it's like hopefully better, but maybe it got worse. But hopefully after watching this video, you'll take it to heart and practice a bit and get better. But that's it for this video. See you in the next one. God bless. Goodbye.